Hey, Scott.
Are we there? Perfect. Good
We
to talk to you.
are. It's
How
good
are
to talk
you?
to you too. I'm great. So, guys, Scott is the founder and CEO of Upcontent, and he is also a wonderful Lately subscriber. We are really excited to have you, Scott. So, if you could just tell us a bit about yourself, what you do, a little bit about Upcontent, everybody would really love to hear about it.
Yeah, awesome. Well, great to be with everybody. Thanks again for having the opportunity to chat. As Lauren mentioned, CEO of a company called Upcontent. It is a air traffic control platform for content curation. And my role really is lead scout on that. So finding new opportunities, identifying and speaking with customers. Upcontent originally came from a marketing agency that I ran for about 3 years, and we were finding that our team was having a hard time finding the articles that could help power our social media, email marketing, or website strategies. So we decided to create one.
Awesome. That's fantastic. I love hearing that. So, excuse me. So, guys, I actually came in contact with Scott because we had a customer that was having a few questions, and he put me in contact with Scott. And we actually have developed this really awesome partnership with Upcontent, where you can actually, in your Upcontent account, you can pull in all that content that you found through Upcontent, and we'll auto-generate social posts from that content. And I have to say, Scott, it is so cool.
Yeah, for you and me both. It's been great for us from a marketing strategy standpoint to have Lately as a place for us to bring those articles that, we've used Upcontent to curate. And that was a big challenge for us as a small team of obviously using Upcontent. We were able to find things. We had some idea of how to use that platform, but where things often fell apart was the scheduling and managing and monitoring and creating the social posts now that we found that article, especially for someone like myself who probably gets a little overly involved in the marketing strategy, not being able to really expertly craft those social posts, but still wanting to get that perspective out there. Lately came to the rescue for us in that regard.
Awesome. So tell us a little bit more about how you use Lately. So do you
Yeah.
find your articles with Upcontent and you post them through Lately, or are you using it more as a platform to really build awareness about it?
A little bit of both, actually. So the typical workflow, I still manage a lot of the marketing efforts and community and customer engagement aspects of our company. And so most of the time I'm on a bus or commuting, and I utilize Upcontent on my phone to find articles that match what we want to be talking about as an organization. And then, as you had mentioned, I can click a button and say, hey, send this over to Lately. We use campaigns a lot inside of Lately to help us tag what that article is about to make sure that we're not over messaging on one side of our strategy or under messaging on another side. As you probably have discovered or should discover inside of Lately, the omni analytics side and the ability to really understand what's working and what's not has been helpful. And so we're utilizing Upcontent to help send things into those different campaigns within Lately. And then once a week, really, I'm going into Lately, looking at the things that we've teed up, reviewing those auto-generated posts, utilizing our kind of brand defaults on those, picking the ones we like, tweaking them a little bit, and then using the auto scheduling ability to get the next 2 or 3 weeks planned out, and then turning to the calendar and looking to make sure that is there for some reason something we want to move around or drag and drop one from another area, making sure that the call to action are available on each one of those curated posts. So when someone clicks on them, they're seeing a prompt to come back to our website and engage with us further, and just trying to make sure that that is all fitting together. Whereas before, we probably would have found those articles still, and maybe 1 or 2 of them I would have actually clicked on the share button and tried to create the post and get it out. But now we're consistently posting at least something every day. I think that's been extremely valuable, not only for a standard marketing strategy, but also for us to make sure that when we're recommending the value of curation as part of your original and curated strategy, that it does actually work and there are values. And we're also finding where those frictions may be.
Yeah, absolutely. I love to hear about how you're using it, because your experience with it is a little different just because you're so focused on that content side of it.
Yes.
that's really interesting to hear about that. Awesome. Thank you so much.
Well, of course. Yeah. And thanks to you for being the advent of bringing the two organizations together. It was your helping of that customer who was originally trying to kind of duct tape the two platforms together that allowed, this discussion to happen. So it's been great working with you and the rest of the team on that.
Oh, well, thank you. It's wonderful. So do you see any sort of trends in the future with content and using Upcontent and lately, or how often people should be doing this kind of stuff and posting different articles and that kind of stuff?
Yeah, it's amazing, right? There's so many articles and blog posts out there about what the optimum frequency should be and how many times you should be doing it. I think there's never a silver bullet where it would be so nice, right, from even the agency experience to be able to say, hey, everyone, you should post this many times on Twitter, this many times on LinkedIn, and everything will be great. Or you should even post on Twitter versus LinkedIn. It is always an it depends answer. One of the things that we do know that is pervasive is that people want to hear from the brands that they want to work with, and they want to know more about the organizations that they're working with beyond the features and benefits of the product or solution. And they also, if they are reading original content, and hopefully everyone is using original content as an aspect of their strategy, they want to know where that content's coming from, where did it generate, who are the people who are writing it, and a lot of the times they want to understand that perspective before engaging in the original work. And that's really where we've seen a growing trend in the curation aspect. And how do I surround original content with curated articles, whether they come from Upcontent or whatever channel, to help to reinforce that. And the more recent studies have shown over a 2x conversion rate on leads by doing that blend of 50 to 75% original and curated content, with the upper side being curated and the lower side be original. It's all quality over quantity, as we're continuing to hear, versus maybe 5 years ago, which was write 2 blogs a day, only a paragraph, get them all out there as many times as you can. We're seeing much more we're almost reaching this peak content where if you can write the same thing as the guy next door, don't write it. Make sure you're writing something that's unique to your perspective, and then surround that other articles that read it.
That's a really good tip. I think that some people do often overlook that. They think it's very one side or the other. Either I'm only going to put my very specific things, or I want to just put everything out there. And you're absolutely right. It has to be a good combination of both, because you want to get people's eyeballs on what you're doing and what you have to say, but you don't want to overwhelm or underwhelm. So that's a really good tip. Thank you for that.
Yeah, and we try to approach that. We have our own original content, and we use the Lately auto generator for our original content as well as our curated articles, and try to strike that blend where we're probably closer to the 75% curated and 25% original, just because of who we are and what we want to do. Yeah. But we still use our own original content, put it into the auto generator, get that stuff scheduled. The nice thing is that your original articles tend to be more evergreen, where the curated articles are more temporal in nature. And so you can balance that fairly well and continue to work through with different perspectives on original. You don't want to post the same exact post, every week, but getting that perspective, having the different angles, and letting people understand that, while blending it with, these people don't have their heads in the sand all the time and don't think that their word is the only word that matters. They understand the industry, and they help then people make proper buying decisions, regardless of industry, B2B or B2C.
Yeah, awesome. So do you have any exciting stuff that's going to be happening with Upcontent that you want to let us know about, or any fun secrets?
Yeah, there's a lot of exciting stuff coming down the pipe. I think as we move away from being purely discovery focused, which is kind of where we started, was we're just going to help Lauren find better articles that she couldn't find before. We've evolved and gotten smarter and listened to customers and worked with teams like yours to understand, well, finding is just a piece of it. We need the collaboration and we need the distribution. And sometimes people find things that don't require an engine to help them find. And so I think you're going to start seeing more around the ability to add articles from outside of our engine into the Upcontent dashboard, into that air traffic control. So for instance, my team may start throwing things at me if I say these things too loudly, but the ability to find an article somewhere else, let's say, and easily add it into an Upcontent collection that immediately sends it to Lately, as well as tees it up for a MailChimp email campaign or a HubSpot email campaign and gets it onto your website all with a single click, that's where we want to go. And the ability to then turn that one article into 15 posts. Most of them are great that you want to just post immediately, and the other ones you may tweak a little bit, and you've easily gotten your marketing strategy done, even as that team of one, and can manage those articles across all those platforms. So that's the goal, and hopefully within the next 60 days or so, we'll continue to get closer to that goal.
That is amazing. Well, Scott, we are just about out of time, but thank you so much for chatting with me today. I really appreciate it. Everyone, thank you all for joining us. Next week, we're talking about the file manager, some really cool stuff about that. And please like and subscribe to us on all the social channels, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube too. And thank you again, Scott. We'll talk soon.
Great. Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Bye.